Hello, beautiful souls. I am Yasuko, and it's time for Massage Monday. I was just in Hawaii last week assisting Ken Honda's Vision Quest retreat. I've been fortunate to visit Hawaii several times a year the last 3 or 4 years. This week I will share my favorite place to go for healing whenever I'm in Hawaii. Let me introduce Dr. Evan Murao of Inner Chi Hawaii, who practices traditional Chinese medicine in Honolulu on the island of Oahu. Ever since my friend recommended him, it's like my Hawaii trip is not complete if I don't go there.
My name is Dr. Evan Murao, and I've been an acupuncturist here in Hawaii, and I'm located in downtown Honolulu. My company name is Inner Chi Hawaii. What I usually do is a little bit unique than other practitioners. I do a multifaceted approach where, for instance, if it's a musculoskeletal dysfunction, I'd like to do palpation first and see where points of tension are, either locally or distally away from the area or site that they're complaining about. And then afterward, I'd like to use a combination of Tuina Chinese massage technique, which involves rubbing or going along the Chinese meridians to focus and get into the acupuncture points that also kind of coincide with the tension or trigger points that our body has within the muscle group. Once I find that, then I'll do acupressure and focalize my pressure to have a firm and steady grip on that trigger point, to be able to loosen up and have the person's body decontract that contraction that it's been holding on. And once we get through that, it's kind of like peeling back the layers of the onion. And now I'm able to more effectively utilize other modalities such as cupping therapy or gua sha, which is myofascial scraping, or Gratson technique in Western medical terminology. And then lastly, I do acupuncture and electroacupuncture. And from there, afterward, we can discuss about lifestyle recommendations, nutritional, dietary additions or subtractions in a person's dietary routine, and any type of herbal supplements, either over-the-counter, Chinese medicine, even talking and working in collaboration with their physician to be able to find the best things that will be in the best interest of this person, pharmaceutically or natural, that we have here on Eastern medicine side.
And your background is counseling?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
My background is counseling. I was doing that initially and gearing into that track, and about 2 months before finishing up, I decided I wanted to venture off into acupuncture, and now it's a blend of counseling and acupuncture. And when those things come up, especially if it's a psychosomatic disorder where people's mental health is affecting their physical health and vice versa, I like to also engage in doing counseling techniques, and you usually use solution-focused brief therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to be able to empower the person to reframe their train of thought, the thoughts that come in, to become aware of it, and then to install new thoughts that will help install new behaviors and give them a better personality fit to their healthcare goals.
Yeah. So you take care of both body and mind.
Yeah, body and mind. Yeah, body and
all
mind.
of us, yes.
Yeah, so I got started in acupuncture, or I would say that I got introduced to Chinese medicine back when I was 19 years old. I got into a pretty major car accident in 2006, and it left me fortunately intact physically, but neurologically I was having a lot of pain all over from head to toe, and I wasn't able to really sit, stand, or lie down for long periods of time, which impeded on my lifestyle of working and going to school. So at the time I was utilizing my auto claim insurance, doing a lot of things on the Western side approach, interventions such as chiropractic care, massage therapy, active release therapy, cryotherapy, and so on. But things weren't really helping on the long term. It was very temporary, where I'd go back to the same intensity of pain after a session 1 to 2 days later. And so I was met with a crossroad where my orthopedic surgeon was saying on their end that they can only prescribe me either medication, pain medication, or cortisone shots for the rest of my life. And me being 19 at the time, I did not want to go into that. And so he knew that, and I'm glad that he was open and knew about acupuncture, because he recommended me to check that out, because that was another option. So I looked into that, didn't know anything about that prior, and I found somebody that used to work right across the street from my current office location, and his name was Leon Letoto, and he was a very prominent person in the acupuncture community, along with in the Native Hawaiian community. He was on the Royal Order of Kamehameha, and I first met him there. I did my first session, and I found it to be pretty significant in my tolerance of pain after getting off the table, because for me personally, I was currently on a constant 7 to 8 on the pain scale, and then at the worst 9 to 10. And so when I got off the table, I felt like I was at a 4 or a 5, and so I felt good. I mean, I wasn't fully cured, and I thought I'd have the same type of results like I did with the Western interventions, but it sustained for almost a week, just that one session. And so I saw him about 15 to 20 times throughout the time being, I think once or twice a week. But I was able to get back to work in school and have a quality of life that was somewhat normal. And then it took me about a couple more years after those sessions of physical training and building back my core strength to be mostly pain-free, especially pain-free from that accident. So that opened up my eyes, and that's how I got aware to this and the benefits of it, because I personally had a good experience with it. So when I was going to get my counseling degree, like I said, 2 months before, I just had this epiphany that I could help the people who I was working with in therapeutic sessions rather than getting them out to other service providers. I felt like I was able to really do more than just talking to them. So I talked to my internship director, and she knew about my story, and we had a good rapport and establishment. And so she recommended me and told me that maybe acupuncture and Chinese medicine school would be a good route to take next. And so I thought about it, and it really dawned on me like that would be great, because it would complement with counseling, and I've done it before and I know it works for me. So getting into that, I felt like that might be something that I'd gravitate to. And so it was a daunting task the first 3 semesters, and I really felt like overwhelmed with the information, because it was not only Eastern medicine things that I have to learn, theories, it was also the Western medicine approach that we also had to learn, and even the pharmaceuticals. So going through the program, it really built up my confidence, and it gave me even more confidence when I started working with my peers in the way I was practicing, because it was effective for them and they got good positive feedback. And then once I moved into the public sector to treat the public, I also had the same type of positive results, and it really helped out the people who I was working with, and I gained enough confidence to be one of the few people to do treatments without my supervisor's opinion before doing the treatment, because that's usually how you do it. And they let me talk to the patient, get the intake, do the whole treatment, and then come back to them after to do supervision to tell them exactly what I did, the type of points I did, why I did it, and all. So they were really confident in me, and they gave me that nudge to affirm that this is my calling, it's my passion, and I enjoy my work every day. I don't find it to be, laboring work. I find it just really enjoyable, past the monetary value of just helping people, which that's all I've been wanting to do, is to provide service to the community. And in the near future, I want to extend that service out by educating people, the public, people who are either not aware of Chinese medicine or might be a little skeptic to it, which I can totally understand. And so to help to just demystify the medicine in of itself and seeing the benefits complementary to Western medicine is the ideology behind my future endeavors.
I think you're really good on camera, so you should definitely do a YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Or at least on like other social media sites.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I wanted to set up the space, and I believe that the first thing that a person's journey to healing is to provide a safe and safe environment to have them to be able to be vulnerable, to open up either through thought or just their own body, because a lot of the time we hold experiences in our body, and unfortunately some people have more worse physical or mental trauma that they've gone through. So being able to set up an environment first can give them that first shedding of that layer to be comfortable and ensuring a safe environment, and then being able to be transparent to the people who I talk to gives them an insurance that I know that where I'm at, I'm going to provide them the best care possible.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I think I've come here for maybe 3 or 4 years now. And
I believe so, yeah. It's been about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and every time this kind of completes my Hawaii trip, and ever since I was introduced to you. Yeah, but it's been getting harder to get appointments because you're getting more popular and busy. So, yeah, this time I booked an appointment, before I left California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, when I knew I was coming. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So the practice that I do and the way that I like to formulate the treatments is a little bit more unique. Like I was saying, it's more multifaceted, doing a lot of different approaches to help achieve the goal in a shorter duration of time. So I like to say that the treatments that I do, one session can equate to 2 or 3 sessions, typically, just with all the work and the dynamics of getting into the root cause in, like I said, a multifaceted approach and looking at it with multiple lenses rather than just narrowing my point of focus of thought. And the way that I like to practice is more of an East Asian medicinal theoretical approach, because I use Chinese theory to do diagnostic, ruling in, ruling out, and then also utilizing Korean needles. I use the company DBC or Dongbang company from Korea, and then the type of acupuncture style of needling, I would say it's a combination of Japanese style, which is from Kiko Matsumoto, and then also regular Chinese medicine needling style. So the differences would be in the Japanese approach is to use thinner needles and to go a little bit more shallow and hit the dermis layer and then the fascial and interstitium layers. And with Chinese medicine, we kind of want to elicit a dirt qi or arrival of qi, similar to dry needling, where we manipulate the needle to elicit a twitch response. So it's a little bit more painful, but it's achievable in that realm. So I do a combination of both deep needle insertion and the Japanese style of shallow needling, depending on what I want to do as far as the functionality of the point prescription. And yeah, I just find it to be more effective than just utilizing one lens of the medicine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you were doing cupping on me and
oh yeah,
cupping
yeah.
too. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, the best way to get in touch with me is to go on my website. It's www.innerchihawaii, INNERCHIHAWAII.com. And there you can find a lot of information of the type of services I provide people. There's also a little bit of research articles, a little topic of blurbs that I put in blog posts in the past. And how to get in touch with me if you wanted to make an appointment where I'm located. All that is inside the links to my email and my website. Yeah. Well, I'd like to engage with the person, especially if it's the first initial intake, to get to know them on a holistic approach. That can be both professionally, personal, relationships with other people, their diet, sleep, water intake, medications that they're taking. So try to hit a lot of different areas to see or give myself a better picture of how I can best work with them, and tailoring the treatment to be more unique for that person. Yeah, I feel like that's very helpful.
Yeah, I really felt that I was heard when I first came here.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that come to me that's talked to other physicians on the Western side, where they feel like they've been herded through the system or cattled through the system, and they feel like they have to advocate for help, and sometimes they get lost in the traction because some appointments can take months to get, and by that time it might be too late, or things have resolved itself, so they don't know exactly what it was that was the cause of it. So I really like to deep dive into it and take at least a half an hour just to talk to people, to get engaged and just understand them and see their nuances too, because that's also important on how their thought process is. And I feel like that really is important along with our physical health and the way we talk to ourselves internally.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, it's important.
Inner conversations.
Yeah. A therapist of mine, he said, which resonated with me, he told me that the way that we talk to ourselves, good or bad, can be influenced by people in our past, from our childhood till currently today. So influential people could be your parents, guardians, family members, coaches, teachers, anything of engaging with people that you felt like they were of influence to you, but they've put impressions on top of you either by verbiage or by behavior, good or bad, like I was saying. So that's reflective on when we grow up, how we talk to ourselves in certain situations. Sometimes that inner voice is reflective on top of those people who talked to us back then in those similar situations, either handling stress, how to conduct ourselves, what to think, what to behave, and even how we are as a person. You know, if you're hearing a certain thing all the time that either you're really good or you're not good enough, that will resonate with you, and that will unconsciously be how you talk to yourself. So you have to give yourself grace. But the first key is to become aware of it. That's the first key. And once you're aware of it, now you have the power to reframe and change those thoughts, behaviors, and actions.
Oh, yes, beautifully said.
Thanks.
This session is so relaxing. I get the most release on my neck and shoulders from his treatments. This time, my lower back needed attention too. After the session, I saw myself in the mirror, and I decided not to be on camera. I think you get his gentle, kind, and sincere energy. If you want to add healing to your Hawaii trip, I highly recommend you go see him. And thank you, Dr. Murao, for your time for this interview. Thanks for watching. Make it a great week.
And then I utilize Korean acupuncture needles. Sorry about that. Okay. I know, I can try that again. I was not expecting Siri to pick up on whatever it picked up.